Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bumper Sticker Wisdom's Bible Roulette. I'm Jason.
I'm John.
Okay, we're going to do Mark 7, verse 15. You are not defiled by what you eat. You are defiled by what you say and do.
Yeah, if you read that scripture and you listen to what they're talking about prior to that, it's like about what the Pharisees are trying to trap him and talking about why are they eating this? Why are they not washing their hands before they eat and that kind of stuff? I don't know if that's that story specifically.
Yeah, it's so Jesus called to the crowd to come and hear. All of you listen, he said, and try to understand. You are not defiled by what you do, by what you eat. You're defiled by what you say and do.
Yeah.
Then Jesus went into the house to get away from the crowds, and his disciples asked him what he meant by that statement, and he made. Don't you understand either? He asked, can't you see that what you eat won't defile you? Food doesn't come in contact with your heart. It only passes through the stomach and then comes out again.
Yeah.
By saying this, he showed that every kind of food is acceptable. And that and then he added, it is the thought life that defiles you.
Yeah.
From within, out of a person's heart come evil thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, greed, wickedness, deceit, eagerness, and lustful pleasures.
Yeah. Yeah. It's literally, he's literally like pointing the finger at your insides, not about what you're bringing in. Like, I think what we intake mentally, emotionally, even physically, like food and stuff that's not healthy for us is not good for us. But he's talking about a spiritual thing. Remember that the Jewish people are very legalistic, right? Yeah. They're very much about their laws. The first 4 or 5 books of the Bible are nothing but law. You know what I mean? That's pretty much all we're talking about. And if you think about, there are certain things that they can't eat, and they have not turned from that, right? And he's trying to tell people that has so much less to do with it than you're giving it credit for. You know what I mean? If it's bad for your health, don't consume it. Yeah. But it has nothing to do with your spiritual health, and that's what he's trying to point out. You know,
I'm gonna stay in Mark. It's just kind of a one-liner. What's going on before and after? I don't really want to take into context, but when I was reading through, this really hit me because we talk about like loving each other. And how it's kind of hard, like to love a stranger and show them the kind of appreciation and things like that you do people that you're close to.
Right.
But it's Mark 9, verse 40, short and sweet. Anyone who is not against us is for us. That one kind of jumped out.
That's interesting.
Jumped out at me because, like you see, like you get along with people, but you still kind of keep yourself on a short leash. Like you don't really do things to help them like you could, or you're not really there for them like you could be, but they're not against you.
Yeah.
So they're for you.
Yeah. If they're not against you, then you're on your side.
Then they're for you.
Right. That's a very good point. It's interesting. And I've probably never really thought about it like that. You know what I mean? And it probably didn't strike me when I was reading it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But, well, if you read through, that's not really kind of what it's getting at. I read through it. I had to read through twice. I read through chapter 9 twice. The second time I read through it, that one line just kind of jumped out. So that was the one that I kind of had to like.
Let me think about that. And look, if it jumped out to you, that's God trying to speak to you, right? He's trying to tell you something, because if you apply it to your daily life, right? Like we're talking about, it's like, okay, so I'm very arm's length with people. Yeah. Right. And I'll definitely protect myself from harm or disappointment as much as possible, which we all do on some level, some worse than others. But you think about, like, look, dude, if God's trying to tell you, like, hey, my people if they're not fighting against you,
they're for you.
They're for you. Don't fight against them. Work with them. They're there to help you too. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool. Never thought about it like that.
That was kind of all. That's all I wanted to switch up. I thought those two things jumped out, of course, it doesn't mean the same to me like it did.
Probably in that moment.
I mean, because this was 2 weeks ago.
Right. Yeah, so, we've been off a couple of weeks because I was sick and we've had some other things. Hey, but you guys, if you have not caught episode 59, the Ladies Takeover edition, go back and check it out as we get prepared for episode 60 coming out next week. Other than that, I'm John.
I'm Jason.